Hey there, mamas. So today I'm not going to be sewing, I'm going to be doing a little bit of knitting. And the first thing that you need to do when you start knitting is to cast. And I don't cast like most people cast. When I was first learning to knit, I was little. I was probably 8 or 9 years old. And I had this little booklet that was my mom's, and I couldn't really understand the diagrams that it had for casting on. And so I kind of developed my own method for casting, and I'm sure it has a name. I'm sure other people do it too, but it's not one that I've seen demonstrated or done, and I never really learned to knit from somebody else. I just did it from the book, so my hands are held a little differently than other people. I don't knit either English nor continental. I do something a little bit different. You'll see. So my friend Bethany, she wanted to do a super stretchy cast on. And I told her, I said, well, the way that I do it is really, it's as stretchy as the knit. It's super stretchy. But it might not look how she wants it to look, but it's really simple. So if you wanted something that's going to be really stretchy, like for a waistband or something that has to get pulled, pulled tight, like if you're doing a sweater and you want it to open really big on the bottom to go over the neck, or I used to use it for knit longies for the waistband, and then I would do whole, eyelets, and then I would do a waistband drawstring. But this method works really well. And I have some little swatches here. As you can see, it stretches as far as the knit will stretch. It doesn't have any resistance. And here it is on just a plain old stockinette. Same thing. Here it is on a regular knit. A little tighter just because the knit's a little tighter. And here it is on a seed stitch. It doesn't have a real structured end. It looks kind of like sort of twists versus like the more crochet style looking end that you get for a typical cast, or for when you cast off in typical ways. So I'm going to show you this, and it is really easy. You're going to be hitting yourself if you haven't tried this before. This was a 9-year-old trying to figure it out. I do a slip knot first, and then I get rid of that piece, but it's just to hold it onto the needle. So I do like a real loose knot, like a little noose, and I slide that on just to start. And I'm just going to do like maybe 10 or 15 casts here. And what I do is I take my yarn and I twist it around once and around twice. And then I put it over. And then you just kind of lightly, like not tight, but just press it up and so that it's firm. So the way that it looks when I go fast is I just go over the end like that. So let's go a little slow again. Make sure you're always twisting the same direction. So I go away from myself. 1, 2, then on, then pull it snug. 1, 2, on, pull it snug. 1, 2, on, pull it snug. And you just do that as much as you need to, for however many you want to cast. You can kind of do the first loop and then grab it for the second if you don't want to twist it around twice. Then it doesn't get as, your yarn won't come untwisted that way if you do it that way. So one twist with one little loop with your hand, and then the second one kind of grabbing it. So how many do I have there? 10. And with the slip knot at the back, if you don't like, if the first ones are kind of ugly, you can just pull them off and not knit the last few. So you just, from whenever it starts to look real nice, you can have that be your start point, and you can just let go of the rest and trim them off later. So let's start there. We've got 10, so let's do 12. And the only tricky part of this, like when I was little, I had a hard time with my tensions. So that's how it looks. You can see. Looks kind of braided, but it's really just twisted. And the trickiest part about this is when you start your knits, you don't want to be pulling out at all. You want to just be really gentle. Just, put your needle through, go around, and keep it very close together. Don't pull it away, because this is only twisted. It's not really going to hold its shape. So this first row that you do, whatever stitches you're supposed to be doing, whether it's ribbing or seed or whatever, Just keep your needles really close together just for this very first row after the cast. Because this really ends up being your actual, like, first row. The cast is just kind of holding it in place. I'll do another video where I go over knits and purls and things like that. I'll probably find a better angle to show it. Maybe the camera up over my head or something. But this is just for the cast on. So I'm going to stop there. Then I'm going to show you how you can just slide off whatever you're not using. So that just comes right undone. So however many stitches you need it to do. Now you've got your first row, you can even them out a little bit. Make sure that nothing got pulled uneven. I like to try to knit kind of loose so things slide around easily on my needles. So now you've got your start, and from there you can do whatever you need to do. And that's super stretchy. Not real formed looking, but works really well. Again, you can just see the difference. Like, there's kind of the typical look, and there's kind of just twists. I like it though. I like it a lot for waistbands. For ribbing, it works really well. You get this nice soft edge at the top. So we'll do that again. Demonstrate it one more time. You start with your little slip knot, and you just take your yarn and just twist it like a loop. There's a loop. Go once more, go through, and just put it in place. And so what you're really doing there is 2 twists, but the second one is being done by the needle. And that's it. That's your just super simple, super stretchy cast on. Happy knitting.